Waggle taggle.
Another thing that's really, weighing heavy on my heart is the fact that people don't treat each other like we're all part of the human race. We should be celebrating our differences, because differences is what really allows us to prosper and make life interesting. There's too many people trying to divide us up and try to say, hey, look, just because you're white, you're racist. And just because you're black, you can't be racist. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who are just proving that it's going back and forth. I also think, too, if you keep going around calling everybody racist, you're part of the problem, because you're not even trying to get along with people. You're not trying to unite people. You're that person who is dividing people, and it's not good. I think people should, give everybody a chance and really embrace our differences, because that's what makes life interesting and cool, because everybody comes from a different background of some sort or another, and it just gives you another perspective, and it's a good thing. And I'm just so tired of people, saying that, because you're this or that. There is not one person on this planet living today that needs to answer for our ancestry whatsoever. There is not one person living today that has anything to do with the history of the country that everybody is blaming as a starting point. One of the things that really, kind of disheartens me is the fact that, yes, there were slaves, and it's not the brightest part of our history. But you got to also keep in mind that there were slaves of all races. It was not just slaves from Africa. There were Irish slaves too. There's a whole history of Irish slaves. But do people talk about that? No, they don't. And the Irish were treated horribly, and they were traded horribly too. They actually had less value than a slave from Africa. I've done a little reading on it, and it's just as sad and disheartening to read. But today, we have to really stop and think about who is still a slave and who's not. And unfortunately, it's now becoming more or less women and children that are becoming slaves in a different, and it's called human trafficking. And that is a horrible life too. We need to pull together and say, hey, look, what happened in the past can be something that teaches us for the future. We can prevent some of the mistakes that have been made in the past, and we can try to prevent some of the horrible things that has happened in the past from re-happening. But we got to do it in a united way. How about we just come together as people, human beings? Let's start with that. Because we all are human. We all have feelings. Erasing the past does not change it. It's still there. And taking down anything that reminds you of the past does not erase it, does not change it. and also loses its purpose it serves. It really does change its the purpose. The purpose is to remind you of what did happen. Not all history is good, but it all shouldn't be forgotten. And just because there's a statue up does not mean that it's necessarily a celebration. It's a reminder of what's happened. Why do you think the Jewish Nazi concentration camps were never destroyed? Because it serves as a reminder of what was. The pyramids were built by slaves. They're still standing thousands of years later. And it serves a purpose of history, of human history. Yes, they were built by slaves, but it also tells you about the times that they lived in. And yes, slavery was big back then too. So we really just need to embrace everything, come together as a human race. Once we come together as a human race, what is there to divide? What is there to divide? The next thing to really conquer is recognizing each other as one and a whole, as a human race. We can also then maybe try to work on some of the social economic differences that do exist and be able to move forward instead of saying, well, we're stuck here because of the past. No, you have a choice every day to make a difference in this world. You have a choice to better yourself every single day. It's a choice you make. And don't think because for 1 minute that you belong to a certain group of people that's what's holding you back, because it's not true. There's successful people in all groups of people. And it's a matter of what you choose to do for yourself. I mean, it's just, could I have made a lot more money than I do now? Yes. Would I necessarily be happier? Not necessarily. I've actually, chosen my path, and I make the amount of money I do. I don't make a lot of money, but I feel I make a big difference. So that helps tremendously. Would it be nice to be paid a little bit more money for what I do? Sure. It would be, definitely, because we do work hard. But that's a choice I make. I'm choosing to do the job I do. I am choosing to not do something different, and whatever at this point, because I'm happy as far as life goes. Everybody dreams of bigger dreams, and yeah, it would be cool if you didn't have to, worry about where your money was coming from. That would be great. And I'm coming from a situation where we, are making a decent living and being able to do things in our lives. And it would be great if I never had to worry about, oh, where's the money coming from? Oh, I can't do that because, I'm doing this, and have to make a choice, either give this up or not do something new. But it is what it is, and we all walk our own paths. But if you're walking a path and you're happy, that's great. Because then you can move forward and just out of words right now. I'm gonna go see if I can edit any of these videos together to make any kind of sense out of it, because the last time it didn't work so well. I just was not happy, and I'm just hoping that maybe this time I'm happy with the videos I made.